What's up, fake team owners? It's week 3 recap right here. I'm going to take you through the injuries that happened, and then I'm going to go through the matchups, and then I think we'll call it quits. So this week we had two major injuries. We had Dennis Pitta and Danny Woodhead going down. Both of them are going to be out for the year. As for new injuries, looks like Decker re-injured his hamstring, but he's going to be probable. LaShawn McCoy got a concussion and left the game, but he came back, so I'm thinking he'll probably start next week. As for the Rams rule, they lost Kyle Rudolph, which is going to be a big hit to them. He's going to be out about 6 weeks, I think. So on Monday night, we saw Brandon Marshall get sidelined for a little bit with that lingering ankle injury he has. As for Jamal Charles, he might actually play this week. He's got that high ankle sprain, so he might be limited a little bit from that. Doug Martin also might play this week. This would be good news for Austin if he does. T.Y. Hilton, he's hurting, but he's probably going to end up playing. Roddy White was sidelined with a hamstring injury. We'll see. It's probably going to be a game-time decision with him this week. So in a pretty pathetic matchup this week, we had the antagonist versus With My Nipples. Antagonist edge out With My Nipples, but it was a pretty bad performance from both teams. The antagonist top performers, Andrew Luck, Niall Davis, and the freaking kicker. Underperformers, Cobb, Ball, Keenan Allen. As for With My Nipples, obviously Peyton Manning had a good game, Julius Thomas and Bennett. Underperformers were pretty much all his running backs and wide receivers, as I predicted. You know, antagonist moved to 3-0. I'm undefeated, but I've also had the least points scored against my team, so take with that what you will. I wouldn't rank myself number 1 at this point. Next matchup, we had Where's the Beef Brady against the newly named Demarius Stormborn. This was formerly known as Big Daddy Yak, but obviously female yaks do not like the words big and daddy, so protests put pressure on Yakkel to change his team's name. It looks like it worked out for him because the Khaleesi's new quarterback Rivers ran the train on Buffalo this week, put up 19 points. Dez did well, and the Giants players, Cruz and Jennings, finally both had a good week, while his namesake only put up 5 points against Seattle's tough defense. WDBB had a good performance from DeMarco Murray, Breeze, and Olsen. Torrey Smith continued to struggle. Sammy Watkins was shut down by the Chargers secondary. And WBB falls to 1-2 from this. The closest matchup this week was between the Sloppy Joes, who just barely edged out Will Forks Chode. Sloppy Joes texted me, being like, "Oh, why'd you rank me second to last?" They backed it up. They got some points, but unfortunately, he didn't end up with high score this week. We'll find out who does in a second. Pierre Garçon put up some points. So did Macklin. That's a surprise. Matt Ryan also had a good numbers. Brandon Marshall was battling an injury, and he was kind of shut down. As for the Chodes, Marshawn Lynch, Antonio Brown continued to put up a lot of points. Gates, Vereen, Cam Newton all underperformed this week for him. Next, we had the annihilation of the week. Dingleberries almost doubling Rams rules scored. Rams rules guys pretty much all underperforming with the exception of freaking Williams, a Dallas wide receiver. Rodgers continues to struggle. As for the Dingleberries, Levy and Bell doing great. Gronkowski putting up points. Julio Jones had a great Thursday night. Tony Romo and Crabtree. And the Chicago D surprisingly putting up a lot of points. 120, high score for the week. Give this man his money. In our final matchup of the week, we had the 2-0 Rage and Ray Rice battling the 1-1 Two Live Jew. Rage and Ray was up by 20 points going into Monday night, but the Two Live Jew, Chicago's new son, had 2 bears going. Jay Cutler, Alshon Jeffrey did it for him. Giovanni Bernard also contributed, as did Folk in the Detroit defense. Golden Tate, McCoy went left early with an injury, and Giants tight end surprisingly didn't do very well. As for Rage and Ray, Stafford and Calvin Johnson doing mediocre at best. Fitzgerald not too well. Stacy putting up a lot of points. Kelsey proving why he's an athletic freak. Edelman being consistent as he has been, but unfortunately wasn't enough. Rage and Ray got his first loss of the season. So there you have it, folks. Next week I'll be back for you with some power rankings. Austin and Yakkel, you owe me money. Dad finally paid up. So you guys are the last 2 on my shit list. I look forward to seeing anyone who wants to join me at Beachland on Sunday. And everyone else, good luck this week.